They say after a dozen years of marriage, you know a person like the back of your hand. I thought I knew Marina, knew the way her mind worked, the quirks of her smile, the weight of her hand in mine. I was wrong. The first cracks appeared subtly, like a hairline fracture in a mirror. Her phone was always face down, a new password on her computer, the late nights at her marketing job that suddenly became the norm. My heart, still stubbornly in love, found ways to rationalize it all. Stress, a big project, anything to drown out the growing unease in my gut. Everything shattered the day I was under the kitchen sink, a wrench in my hand, trying to fix a leak. Marina's phone, left carelessly on the counter, began to buzz. A call, then another, then a third, the screen lighting up with a name I'd never seen. Dex. My hand hesitated, but a primal curiosity won out. Right after the last call, a text popped up. Your husband's schedule confirmed. It's happening Thursday. A cold dread seeped into my bones. My hands trembled as I took a screenshot, sent it to myself, and then, with a shaking finger, deleted the damning evidence. The wrench lay forgotten as my mind reeled. What was happening Thursday? Whose schedule? Who the hell was Dex? I called in sick, my reality upended. When Marina left for what she called a client meeting, I followed. She parked downtown, and I watched from my car as she met a man in a worn leather jacket. He was tall, with dark hair and a cold, calculating look in his eyes. They spoke for a few tense minutes before she handed him a white envelope. My stomach churned. An envelope. Was this a business deal? Or something much, much darker? That evening, Marina was different. The stress that had been her constant companion for months had vanished. She was light, vibrant, attentive. She made my favorite dinner, talked about our day, even suggested we watch a movie together. Her affection was a cruel mockery, a performance I was too heartbroken to believe. The image of that envelope haunted me, casting a shadow over her every move. Thursday arrived, bringing with it a sense of quiet terror. I worked from home, the curtains drawn, my phone silenced. Every creak of the floorboards, every gust of wind against the window, sent a jolt of panic through me. Nothing happened. As dusk settled, I began to think I had overreacted, that I'd misread everything. Then Friday morning, there was a knock on the door. Standing there was a man who was the mirror image of the man from the coffee shop, except for his eyes. While the other man's eyes were cold and empty, this man's were filled with a haunting weariness. "Are you Marcus?" he asked. "My name is Felix," he continued, stepping inside when I nodded. "I think we need to talk about my brother." We sat in silence for a moment, the air thick with unspoken tension. "My brother Dex," Felix began, his voice low and strained. "He's not a good person. He told me about a job he took, a job involving you." My heart pounded against my ribs. "Your wife hired him to kill you," Felix said, the words cutting through the silence like a knife. He explained that Dex's Thursday attempt had been thwarted by my presence in the house. The plan was not abandoned, only postponed. I stared at him, the room spinning. "Why are you telling me this?" I finally managed to ask. Felix looked at his hands, a deep sense of shame on his face. "Because I've watched him destroy lives for years, and I can't watch him destroy yours." He went on to explain that Marina had paid Dex $50,000 to make me disappear, and was growing impatient. The number, our money, turned the knife in my heart. But the betrayal went even deeper. Felix revealed a backup plan, an affair with her business partner, Troy, who had connections that could finish the job if Dex failed. "Why the rush?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. Felix pulled out his phone, showing me an image of a life insurance policy with my forged signature, a $2 million policy. It went into effect next Friday. This wasn't just about my death. It was a business transaction, a calculated grab for everything. "What do you want from me?" I asked, desperation creeping into my voice. "A deal," Felix said, his gaze unwavering. "You help me take down my brother, and I'll help you take down your wife. But we have to do it right. We have to do it legal, and we have to do it before next Friday." A normal person would have called the police, but I was beyond normal. I was a man betrayed, hurt, and blinded by a raw need for justice. "We record everything," Felix explained, his voice hushed and urgent. "Get them to confess. Dex has to believe you're dead, and Marina needs to believe she's won." The plan was insane, audacious, and the only hope I had. Felix would tell Dex he found my body, staging the scene to look like a burglary gone wrong. I would hide in a safe house, listening to every word through a wire Felix would wear. "Why should I trust you?" I asked, the skepticism heavy in my voice. "Because I'm the only one who can get close enough," he said, his eyes filled with a weary honesty. "And because I'm tired of being related to a killer." For the next few days, we meticulously planned. Felix revealed his brother's history, 3 other jobs in the past 2 years, all ruled as accidents. My wife hadn't just hired anyone, she'd hired a professional. Monday morning, the plan went into action. I listened from the safe house as Felix called Dex. "It's finished," Felix said, his voice calm and steady. "Made it look like a burglary gone wrong. I took some photos for proof." Dex's voice, cold and detached, gave him instructions to set up the meeting with the client. That evening, I sat in a car a block away from the restaurant, the audio feed crackling in my ears. Felix sat across from my wife, the woman who had shared my life for over a decade. She was so calm, so poised, as she asked to see the photos. "Is he really gone?" she asked. "He's gone," Felix replied. "Your husband is dead." The relief in her voice was a physical blow. "Thank God," she sighed. "I couldn't take another day of pretending to love him." The confession spilled out of her like water from a broken dam. She paid Felix the rest of the money, explained the insurance policy, and revealed her plans to leave town with Troy. "Marcus was never going to give me the divorce I wanted," she said, the words dripping with contempt. "He was too stubborn, too controlling. This way I get everything and I get my freedom." I listened, tears streaming down my face. This was a woman I had never controlled, a woman I had loved unconditionally. But in her mind, I was the villain, the obstacle to her freedom and fortune. When Felix returned to the car, the relief was overwhelming. We had everything we needed. The next morning, we walked into the police station. The recordings spoke for themselves. Within hours, Dex, Marina, and Troy were in custody. The police had been hunting Dex for months, but they had never had the evidence to pin anything on him. The trial was a blur of media and public spectacle. Marina's lawyers tried to paint me as a monster, but the cold, calculating voice on the recording was undeniable. Her voice, her words, her excitement about my death sealed her fate. She received 25 years. Dex got life without parole, and Troy got 15 years as an accessory. Felix and I still talk. He started a new life, far away from his old one, a new name, a new purpose. He says he sleeps better now, knowing his brother can't hurt anyone else. As for me, I'm still picking up the pieces. 2 years have passed since I learned the woman I loved wanted me dead. 2 years since I discovered that my marriage was a lie, that the person who promised to love me forever was the one who wanted to destroy me. People sometimes ask if I regret not going to the police immediately. The truth is, I don't know if they would have believed me. I don't know if they could have gathered the evidence we did. But I know this. Sometimes the person who saves your life is the last person you'd expect, and sometimes the person who wants to take it away is the one you trusted the most.